everybody. Welcome to the house sitting course. I'm Barbara Talisman. I'm going to tell you about a really bad experience I had recently with a sit. I had to leave. I've done this for many years and I've never had to leave. I ended up sleeping on the couch. It was a 3-week house sit, and for the first week I had to sleep on the couch because there was no air conditioning in the bedroom. And we tried a couple of things with fans and the window open, and the window was right over the freeway and the fan didn't work. So I had to, unfortunately, in conjunction with the host, leave, and they arranged for their family members to come help. But it was one of those things, the questions that I told you in part 1 and 2 to talk about. I asked if they had air conditioning, and they said yes, but there's no air conditioning in the bedroom. And so it was really difficult. So, you have to move on and you have to protect yourself and you have to follow your instincts. And this is what was under the bed. And the only reason I know that that was under the bed is because my chapstick fell off the bedside table and I had to climb under the bed to get it. And that's when I saw all of this. So I cleaned that all up with the vacuum cleaner all over. And then I moved on to my next sit. And this is what my normal sit looks like. A beautiful bedroom waiting for me, been cleaned up, and this beautiful place. So all's well that ends well. I just had to tell you, sometimes it goes sideways. Way to do it. Today, we are talking how to prepare for the house sit. So you may have concerns, home security, the idea here, you guys, is that you want to travel, right? And you want to have fun, and you want to go places and travel well for less and not spend as much money. So how are you going to house sit, take care of an animal, and still have fun and enjoy your vacation or your work away from home? Will the expectations for taking care of the pet be okay for you? Again, these are things that we manage during our application process and during the interview process. Unexpected issues come up, like I just shared with you. You have to work them through. Communication gaps. I had one house sit where they told me they were going away, but didn't tell me they would not have access to Wi-Fi at all. It was not good. And then, will you be able to fit this? It's a new routine for you, and it's a new routine for the pet that you may have because you're not their owner. So I'm here to tell you, it has not impacted my travel plans. Evening at the Rady Shell, listening to Jason Mraz from a boat in the water. Yeah, that was great. Morning walks along the water. Take the dog for the walk, and then I take myself for a walk. Newport Beach came with a pool. The house that I'm at now has a private pool in the backyard. And then you have these wonderful pets. So Buster on the right is the current Chihuahua that I'm taking care of. I was invited back to this sit. I was here 3 weeks at the beginning of the summer. And Penny on the left was this that I just left in San Diego. So it was an absolute dream in a beautiful dream house. So it doesn't really impact my travel. So it's really important that you get this communication down after you confirm the sit. We talked about searching for, applying, and interviewing, which may answer or should answer a lot of questions or concerns that you have. So you can decide to say thank you, but no thank you. You don't have to take the sit. So if you're not feeling good about it, it's not you have to take it. And that's why you apply for more than one at a time. So the welcome guide is really important. Arrival and departure logistics, and before arrival check-in. So the welcome guide. Most hosts put these together, and I'm going to share with you a very special one. So hang on for a minute. And it has basic information, right, that a welcome guide might have, like their host contact information, their emails, their phones, family members, nearby people, neighbors, gardeners, things like that. Animal care, especially emergency vet, the regular vet, the groomer, the person next door that might have a car or something that can help you, things like that. And then Wi-Fi and television access. Do they have streaming services? What do they have? Any house rules? No guests, no parties, no noise, whatever those house rules might be. And preferred handling of mail. So I want to show you house sit. Redacted all of the personal information, but she has gone above and beyond in this welcome guide. And it's a Word document that she keeps updating. So it's basically tells you exactly where she's located, how to get there. She lets you know she's going to have a parking pass for you and where the guest parking is and how to get in. There are a couple of entrances. Mail room, where that is, and the rooftop deck that she has with a beautiful view. and she has keys that she's giving you, so you have access to all of this. And then elevator upstairs, and then where the garbage is, everything you need in the kitchen. And she says, just keep looking. You'll find it all, open doors. And that's what I found most hosts do. Look, I'm not going to show you where everything is in the kitchen. Just open the drawers and the doors and whatever, and take and use whatever you need. Wi-Fi, password, the house stuff. So this, the countertop in the kitchen is not as indestructible as it looks. She has a beautiful waterfall marble, I think, marble-esque kind of gorgeous top. Huge. No hot things on it, no acid juice, lemon, lime. Please use the soft scrub. So she's being very clear, right? Where the thermostat is. And then she starts talking about all the cats, where the laundry room is, what the cat's like, the TV remote, the sound system, and emergency vet, the vet, how you can get a hold of some neighbors. If there's a credit card that you need to use because the emergency vet, she'll get someone else to pay for it. Don't worry about it. Plants. And then she starts talking about the pets. And she gives you pictures of the pets, and she tells them what they like and don't like and what they might do or not do. They were lovely, gorgeous, well-behaved kitties. It was wonderful. But this is where she goes above and beyond. Groceries and shopping. She goes through all the places you can go shopping in the neighborhood. People emergency, where the CVS is, where the urgent care is. I've not really seen that on a lot of welcome guides. And then the restaurants, her favorite restaurants, where she likes to go, things that she likes to see. So that is one of the best welcome guides I have ever seen. And some of them have more, some of them have less. The point is that it is the host's responsibility to put that together for you. If you're not getting it before you get there, you have to make sure that happens. If you're not comfortable and you've got this communication going by text or email or phone, and they're kind of putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and it's not making you comfortable to go, you can let them know that. And you can let the sitting service, like the website, Trusted Housesitters or home carers, whoever, that you just can't get any information and that you're not comfortable. Now, you do not want to wait till the day before you go. But if this is an ongoing issue, that is a red flag, which we talked about in part 1 and 2 as well. So just this welcome guide is sort of your Bible for being a great house sitter and for enjoying the house sit and for you to enjoy the house sit. What you get is, these are my upcoming sits that are coming up. This is the other one, Los Angeles. I've already been there before, and Spring Valley back in Las Vegas. So I requested the guide, and then he'll send it to me. And the welcome guide process once you've agreed to having a sit. So the other thing that you should do is research the area. You're going on vacation, but if you're going to enjoy yourself or write the great American novel or work from a new environment, you want to be in a place that's comfortable for you. So things to do, like go to a concert or take a walk along the beaches or find an amazing library or museum. So, you want to look at what's in the neighborhood and what you might like to do and how far you may have to drive or go to have some fun. Your safety, are you safe in the neighborhood? Is there grocery and shopping nearby? And things to do, just in general, things to do. I look for meetups. I look for other opportunities to meet other people. Before you apply, you might want to look at a community. So what I tell people is you can either find a house sit with a general search for Los Angeles, San Francisco, Boston, New York, wherever you want to go, Paris. And when you find one you like, apply and decide that's where you're going to go on vacation or work away from home or whatever you're going to do. Or you decide, I want to go to Boston. So you're going to really focus your house sitting search in Boston. Either way, you're saving money without having to pay for hotel rooms or Airbnbs or parking or things like that. So, but you want to research where you're going so you have an idea of what you're getting into. So I've been in Southern California, and none of my house sits have impacted my ability to go out and enjoy myself. So the Coronado Ferry is free in the morning, so I often take that from San Diego across. I went to America's Got Talent when I was up in LA. So much fun, free. Both of those things were free, by the way. So when we're talking about traveling well for less, these are both free. Went to The Price is Right, and I got picked. I did not win, did not get to the final round, but it was so much fun. It was such a great day. It was so wonderful. Free, again, free. And I love a walk along the beach. So this Southern California area for me is my respite to kind of recharge and get ready for my next 6 months of travel. San Francisco was beautiful. I drove over to the bridge. I think in the whole summer I was there might have been 4 clear days of the bridge when I was there. And your other concerns could sort of be getting comfortable with a pet. Again, this welcome guide should be telling you how often do they go for walks? What is their feeding schedule? What's their personality? And again, in part 1 and 2, we looked at some descriptions where we had leash aggressive dogs and sitters who had left comments and reviews that I wouldn't have applied to those sits because there are clearly some challenges there. Can they be left alone? This is a challenge because with COVID, a lot of people wonderfully adopted a lot of pets out of shelters and then stayed home with them promptly for 2 years. So now they want to start traveling again, and that dog or cat is not comfortable alone in the apartment. They normally say that in their listing. You know, we need somebody who's going to stay at home most of the day, or they can only be left alone for an hour at a time, or whatever. So that's a question. If they don't mention it in their listing or during the interview, that's a question I always ask. And then sleeping. Are you comfortable sleeping with an 80-pound dog on the bed with you? Or a cat that climbs under the covers, or a beagle who climbs under the covers? So those are questions that I also ask during the interview, and it avoids having those issues once you've already committed. So those are all things that help you get comfortable with the pet. And so I have really had no issues. You can get caught, but if you ask these questions, you can just say no. So it's not a big deal. Upon arrival, you'll get a home tour, and they'll take you through and show you a lot of stuff that's in the welcome guide, which would include like water shut off and electric shut offs, or weird things about the house. You know, what days are the gardener coming or the housekeeper? So you kind of take a home tour, and that's when you get your first eye on the pet, right? At that point, I would tell you it would be very bad form to leave. But it is not bad form to have a nice conversation with the host about, I didn't realize this 80-pound German Shepherd would be jumping to my shoulders when I arrived. Do you have a way that I can manage that better? So those are things that you get sort of your first eye on the pet. Often during my interviews, the host will bring the animal up on their lap, or they'll show me the dog. You get a sense of what their relationship is with the host and how the dog or animal reacts at that point. Review the daily routine to make sure it hasn't changed any since you interviewed or since you read the welcome guide, and of course, all the emergency information. Knock on wood, I have never had an emergency with a pet. And so there you are. This was my house sit with Penny. Beautiful, cool. This was the view from an amazing 28th floor apartment in Melbourne, Australia, overlooking the city. It was Christmas and New Year's Eve that I was there for 6 weeks, house sitting in Melbourne. It was amazing. So you end up, I know I'm kind of warning you off of a lot of stuff, but when it works brilliantly. And as I said, of all of my house sits, I can probably count 2 that were a challenge. And this one that I left, I've never done that before. So now you have to take care of you. You know what the house is. You have a really good idea about the animal, but you have to take care of yourself. And while this is a trip that maybe you would normally have gone on and stayed at a hotel, or maybe even staying with friends or something like that, you want to pack for comfort, depending on the weather. Maybe it's cooler in the morning or the evenings for dog walks or for being outside. And you'd be outside longer than maybe you would if you were just on vacation and didn't have to walk a dog. So you just want to make sure you have layers depending on the season, or really cool shorts and tank tops if it's really hot. But you want to pack for comfort. That's a little different when you're taking care of an outdoor pet, a pet that needs to go outside. You plan for the unexpected as well as you can. Not everything always goes to plan. You should have your own emergency contact information. If, knock on wood, nothing happens to you, of course, but what is your plan if something should happen to you while you're traveling or while you're driving or you trip and fall? What's the plan for there? And listen to your instincts. Your instincts will always serve you. Think about why house sit and what's that why all about. This is all about traveling well for less. Many of you who have been following me know that I do my travels on a very limited budget, my Social Security and a very small retirement fund. I don't have a home. I travel full time. You don't have to do that. But if you're going to travel for 2 or 3 weeks and you can lower the cost of your overhead, you could travel farther. You could have more travel. You could stay someplace longer. My why is this house sitting allows me to do all of this. To cruise from Sydney to LA for 34 days to go and spend 6 months in Melbourne, which is like my second home. And if I can get house sits there and I have to get an apartment for a couple of months, it's still less expensive. The silos in rural Victoria are amazing, unbelievable pieces of art. This is in Utah during COVID and after COVID. I've always driven through these beautiful, beautiful parks there. And then the beaches of Southern California and Northern California are just one of my favorite places. Why not go to Italy? And I can do all of this because I've saved my overhead and my money house sitting, and it allows me to then spend money to fly to Italy or to cruise back from Australia and to be in South America for the last 4 or 5 months and Antarctica and take a walking tour with these people that I didn't know with Get Your Guide. And he gave us an amazing tour of Santiago. Because I am all about traveling well for less and sharing my tips and tricks on how I do this. House sitting is one way I'm going to do this. This is a free course. We have more travel tips and hacks on my YouTube channel, and there's a playlist there about house sitting and how you can travel well for less doing that. And this is on the cruise from Australia. These guys we met in Puerto Vallarta when I was living there, and we've been friends ever since. I just came back from visiting them in Seattle. And this is in the Galapagos last year. Again, a trip I would not have been able to afford, able to use my money differently. I can go on trips like this. Cruises, I just meet people and it's wonderful. And cruising solo is less expensive than living in an apartment or a home in the United States because you have food, you have a gym, you have people, you have entertainment, you go to different places. You can make it your own. This is in Antarctica and in expeditions. I hope that you see the pathway that I have shared with you and the tips and hacks about house sitting and how to apply, search and apply and interview. And now this is how you're preparing for it. Part 4 will be on November 17th at 3:30 live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can register online at where'sbabs.com. You have access to the guides from part 1, 2, and 3, as well as the videos. And you can watch those at your leisure.